On this week's episode, we talk about our pet peeves.
We hope you find it funny and entertaining.
And hope you don't use this as a weapon against us. Stick around.
Hello and welcome to Rare with Flair.
The podcast where two best friends with the same rare disease are living our best lives. I'm your host, Cassandra.
And I'm your host, Casey.
Well, we are back, and it feels like it wasn't that long ago that we were at the HPS conference, but it's been several weeks.
I know. It's so sad, but also, people have started getting their bucket hats in the mail, though. So that's exciting.
I got
including
mine.
us. We got ours, and shout out to one of our listeners, Caroline, who her mom sent us a picture. It looks so great. We hope everybody who got the hat is loving it. I'm really happy with it. And
it's like the perfect time of year to be getting them.
Yes,
just in time for spring and summer.
How's your week been? How have you been?
It has been all right. It's been pretty okay. I'm trying to think of what I even did. I had a really laid back weekend. Well, not even really laid back, but I finally was home for a weekend, which I desperately needed because I was constantly not around between CSUN, and then I went to visit my parents, and then HPS Con. I just really needed to be home. But this weekend I painted my kitchen cabinet doors, and I'm very proud.
Oh, they look so good. They really do. I'm so impressed that you did that all by yourself.
I need to show you on FaceTime after we finish recording. I know I sent you a picture.
I know.
But
they look so good. Amazing accomplishment.
How are you?
But actually, I'm not kidding. I am good. I just got back from a very short work trip to Dallas, Texas. That was pretty fun. Still kind of recovering, kind of tired, just been working a lot, but it's kind of, like you said, kind of nice to have a week just at home. So my next travel is not for like 3 weeks. So that is good.
Yeah, definitely time to recover and just be home. I feel like I don't know, living alone, not having cars, we get used to being home more, and that's sometimes like often a good thing, so that when we're running around like this, so like back to back, that it's like, okay, oh my gosh, I need my home moment.
Yeah, it is really nice. I think I have to be sure to keep my social cup full enough to where I don't start feeling like stir crazy. But if I do that, I actually really enjoy some days not leaving the house. And like I'll sit outside or I'll walk my dog to actually get fresh air, but it's kind of nice to just be at home, get my work done, and not have to be running around all the time, It's kind of nice.
Yeah, totally agree. Okay. I don't know if did we have more to discuss?
I don't think so.
This feels short. Dang, okay.
I know. But the last few I feel like have been like long. I've been like 10 minutes long, the last few intros. But yeah, this episode, we're going to talk about our pet peeves. And I just want to even do a little disclaimer though first. I want to say this is all in good fun.
Oh, yeah.
This is supposed to be funny. This is not, like, I feel like if we say something on our lists that you, the listener, that you do, we're not mad at anybody. This is supposed to be funny and fun. And we hope if you agree with some of these, you can maybe get a laugh, or at least, because I feel like, don't you feel like this could be controversial?
Oh, absolutely.
Like some of my, like I'm particularly afraid of one of mine, and I literally was gonna like take it off, and I'm like, I'll keep it, but one of mine is very controversial. So, if you hate us, at least there's not really a comment section. I mean, you could track us down to tell us how much you hate us.
On social media at rare.with.flair. I'm not inviting criticism, I guess.
Sounds like you're inviting criticism to me. That's what it sounds like to me.
It's funny, though, because, like, even looking up just, like, a general, like, list of general pet peeves, some of them reading through, I was like, I think I do that, and I definitely think I'm irritating people. So I think the nature of being human is we're always going to be doing something that annoys someone else. There's no way to keep everyone happy all the time. And so you're totally entitled to be bothered by things because people are annoying.
That is so true. I feel like I've even done things on my own list. So, no hard feelings if you've done this, but this is just kind of, I think it'll be funny. I think it'll be fun. I don't know why we even thought of this episode, but we wanted to do something kind of outside of the rare, kind of just something fun and light. And we love a list episode. Right. Lists are fun.
Besides, like, I think knowing what makes people tick, I don't know, helps you get to know people better. So
That's
maybe you feel like you get to know us a little bit better. We let you
That's
into
true. That's
our
true.
micro
I feel like
irritations.
I may have mentioned some of these in past episodes too, because when you've done a show for 3 years, like your pet peeves are bound to come up at points,
Okay, all right. Do you wanna get us started?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll get started. So, a few of mine are like related in a way, but the first one is health related, of course. Okay. Perfect attendance is a pet peeve of mine.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I will, and people who brag about it specifically. Okay, I'll explain why. I understand that giving incentive to get perfect attendance at school, it's a good thing because you want kids to come to school. But when you're a chronically ill kid like myself, having people be praised for perfect attendance or people brag to your face about having perfect attendance, it was annoying because I couldn't have perfect attendance because I struggled with my health. And that was a pet peeve when people would be like, well, I have perfect attendance. It's like, oh, well, you're just healthy. So that was annoying to me.
Actually, I feel like I could get into even a soapbox about this because what I feel like this encourages is the level of adult that never takes vacation and then brags about it, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, you're overworked. Like,
you're right. No, that's true too. That's true too. That's true. And if you're listening and you have perfect attendance, I mean, it is a good thing. Like, you don't really skip it out on school, but like, it's not really something to brag to a sick person about.
Right. And you never know who is sick because obviously not all disabilities are physically apparent, but
wow, now we're getting to the rare right away.
I love that it already got here.
It already got there. We did not mean for that to happen, but here we are.
I mean, okay, I've got one on my list that's a little bit rare that we mention often. I'm blind too without my glasses.
Oh.
No, I mean, maybe you are, but it's not the same thing. Stop trying to be relatable. And like, and I know people say this because they want to feel relatable. Like, I feel like I've experienced what you experience, but it's really, really not the same thing. You have correction and we don't.
Right. I knew someone in college who had correctable vision, she just wore glasses. And like, if you say, like, there are different ways to say this. Like, if you say, like, yeah, I see similar to you without my glasses, like, that's one thing, but you can acknowledge that you have corrected vision, But this girl in college would always try to be like, oh, I understand the struggle, like, I get it. And I was like, no, you don't. You really don't.
Can you
and
drive
like,
a car?
Yeah, she could drive. No accommodations in class. Like, it was just like so funny to me. She did this a lot. She did this like multiple times to me where she'd be like, I get it, girl. My vision is bad too. And I was like, no. Yeah, that's a bad one. That's a bad one. I agree. Okay. My next one, you're going to laugh because I think we've even talked about this before on the pod. My next one is, for some reason, when you deny alcohol, people like can't take no for an answer. It really grinds my gears, especially in college. It's just like, why can't I just say, no, I don't want to drink, and that's the end of it? I feel like people have been better lately, and I think I don't know if that's aging or if it's like the internet has like taught people, because like
Yeah.
you don't know why someone is refusing a drink. Like they could be struggling like with addiction or something. Like you don't know why. So like don't get up in their business. Right. They could be anything. Or they might just not want to drink, and that's okay. And in college, whenever I would like deny alcohol, it was like a big ordeal. Like why? Like, because if you say like, oh, I don't like sandwiches, people are gonna be like, okay, like why is it? I don't know. It was something. It annoys people when you don't partake.
People like, take it like a personal slight, which is problematic because alcohol, it can be and often is a really addictive substance. So it's like, stop forcing people into a position that they may not want to be in. Like they're like, oh, why? Like, oh, are you sure? Like, it's just stop.
Right, exactly. And you do you. You can drink, and then I cannot, and we're good. Like, I just don't like it. I mean, we've talked about this before. I don't. Oh, and another thing going on that is when you say you don't like it, or with anything, even if it's like coffee or anything, when people are like, oh, like, you will one day. It's an acquired taste. You will one day. And I heard a comedian once say, it's an acquired taste. Like only you and the queen like it. And I was dying. Like, so that's another like one off of that.
Don't like. Oh man. Okay. I don't like it when people crack their necks. It's gross. It's disgusting to me. I feel like people are going to break their necks and I'm going to watch them die in front of me.
I have so many questions. You don't crack? I crack my neck 100 times a day.
I can't do that.
Do you pop your back?
No. I
pop my neck and back 700 times a day.
Like my shoulders pop a little bit when I roll them back, but like I don't know how to crack my neck. I've never tried.
Wow. See, mine I don't think makes a crazy noise. Like I know what you mean when people like pull it and it makes that noise.
It makes that pop sound.
And it's like, oh.
It's the sound really. Like,
yeah.
If people do it and it's like kind of subtle, but it's the and I'm like, are you okay?
There was a character on That So Raven from Disney Channel. It was like one of their like weird teachers, and he would just like constantly crack his neck, and they like knew it was him coming before he got there because it was like you could just hear the cracking.
I assume people are just like completely skeletal when that happens. They have no other fluids in their body. It's just like crack bone.
No. That's a good one, and it's pretty understandable why you would hate, because I feel like even if you pop your own body, like seeing other people do it is kind of off-putting. There's something about it.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. My next one is so random. Okay. Okay. Standing ovations at every single show, regardless of the quality. Okay.
This show was medium at best.
This bothers me because back in the day, standing ovations were saved. They were saved.
You had to earn that.
You had to do a standing ovation at like an incredible show. Now, every single time you see a show, there is a standing ovation. Every time.
How do you differentiate a decent show from a great show? There's no way.
I don't know, but I just don't know if like every show is a standing ovation show.
I hear you. I really do. I've been to some shows that have been extremely mid.
It doesn't mean anything anymore. It doesn't mean anything. Like, I feel like it used to be like really special, and now it lost its meaning. It's like a participation trophy.
If everyone's special, then no one is.
Yeah, this is a very specific theater gripe, but it's there, and it used to not be that way.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This one, I feel like this one makes me sound like I'm super uptight, but okay.
Oh, you're not, for the record.
I'm not, and I don't think of myself that way, but
no.
I am I hate this about myself too. I'm one of those people that's really bugged by poor grammar. I can't handle it. Poor grammar and poor spelling. And, like, I get it. Sometimes your phone autocorrects. Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you talk to someone consistently and they continuously misspell and misuse the same stuff. It's like, did you ever learn? Like, do you really not know the difference between the yours? I'm going to throw someone I dated under the bus. Because,
here we go. Getting juicy.
Every time he would text me, "You're pretty. Y-O-U-R,
Oh,
pretty."
No.
It loses its meaning to me.
It loses the moment because all you can see is the wrong "your."
It's so bad. And, like, people don't know how to pluralize, like, their last name. So they're like, "Oh, the Smiths is," with an apostrophe S. The Smiths is what? The Smiths is house? The Smiths
or
is
like
dog?
Certain like when a lot or every day should be two words and it's one word. And there I know like
some people will say like a part as in like a part of.
Oh,
so
yes,
like
yes.
a part of, but a part as one word is the complete opposite of a part. I'm sorry.
My least favorite is when it's like a run-on sentence where you literally can't read the text because there's no punctuation. Like I don't like when there's no punctuation. I will say I'm also a grammar Nazi. Like I love grammar, but you know what one piece of grammar that I get wrong, I think, is like lay and lie bothers me. Like I don't think I get it right most of the time.
I think a lot of people don't know the difference also between like lead as the past tense of lead and lead as in the noun, like a lead pencil or a lead brick. They're spelled
that's like the spelling. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I do know that, but
or breathe versus breath, and I don't know.
Oh gosh. There's a lot.
And it's hard because like it bugs me, but like I don't correct people every time because I know that that's like pretentious and rude.
Right.
But like I notice it every time.
No, yeah, and usually with like autocorrect, a lot of times that helps you, but sometimes it just doesn't quite get there, you know.
Sometimes.
Or 2, 2, and 2 too. That one too.
I want to go to
there and there.
What?
Right. Oh yeah. No, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, my next one. This drives me so crazy. It drives me so crazy. When people call a cold the flu.
Oh, I don't like that.
When people call any illness the flu. Like they have a stuffy nose and they're like, I have the flu. That really grinds my gears.
That's not right. That's not correct.
I don't want you to say you have the flu unless you have literally been diagnosed with the flu. Because the flu is terrible.
Yeah.
I've had the flu. Most people have only had the flu a small number of times in their life, actually. Like, it's not super common. I've had the flu a few times, and I will never forget it. Like, high fever, terrible, like, awful. A cold, it's terrible. It's not fun. But, like, I just, when people, and even the stomach flu, that phrase bothers me because it's a virus. It's not... Okay.
It's called norovirus.
Norovirus. Now you can sometimes you can vomit with the actual flu depending on your fever and everything. But like anyway, just when people are like, "Oh, I've had the flu all week," and it's like you haven't, but that's maybe I think people are coming to know more about that though after COVID.
I think so. Is good. But on that one, I think something that bothers me post COVID when people are sick and they're like, "It's not COVID," and it's like, do you know that though?
Well, also when they say, "Oh, don't worry, it's not COVID," it's like I still don't want to be around you though.
Yeah,
like, they'll be like,
that
"I'm
doesn't
sick,
help,"
but I'm coming to this event anyway because it's not COVID. I'm like, yeah, but you're still sick.
Yeah, maybe don't go anyway. You may actually have the flu.
Yeah, exactly. It might be the flu. The not flu. But there's a lot of health pet peeves that I have, and I think it's because I have somewhat-ish poor health that I like a lot of medical things bother me. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I'm a know-it-all with medical stuff, and I know that I'm annoying. I know that about myself. If anyone listening knows me, and you've ever been annoyed with me for correcting you about a medical thing, I'm sorry. That's my personality. I do it because, I've never corrected you because you actually know medical things. But
no, I know. It's,
the average person, sometimes they'll tell me what the doctor told them, and I'm like, are you sure that that's what they said?
I know. I find that hard to believe.
I'm like, it's different.
Seems like a stretch. Uh,
So I'm sorry for my know-it-allness about medical.
I think, sorry, I was thinking of one something that would probably bother both of us, but it wasn't originally on my list. But I will.
Oh,
okay,
just add it in. That's fine. We have
okay.
time.
When people get the date wrong and refuse our correct suggestion because it is correct. It's always
this is
correct.
A very pet peeve specific to. This is a pet peeve very specific to us.
Just us.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I'm a know-it-all about is the date of when things happened. And I've gotten in many an argument with people, which is so stupid. It's so stupid.
No, it was actually
But I'll be like, no, and like the part of me that wants to like look up proof, and then the other part of me that's like, don't be annoying. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay, one of mine, and I feel like it's related to a bunch of other things. And I think this is a pretty common pet peeve, actually. It is like nails on a chalkboard to me when people scrape their fork with their teeth. I want to throw up. I really hate that. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
I hate that
when
sound.
No.
So much.
So
use
I
your
have
lips like a normal person.
Are you one of those people that like can't stand the sound of chewing? Like it really like makes you angry?
If it's really loud and egregious, yeah, if people are just very flagrantly chewing with their mouth open.
Yeah.
Like,
because that's like an actual mental thing, like a thing that people have where it's like it makes them irrationally angry to hear people chew.
Yeah. I think I have some of that, but like, it's just, I mean, chew with your mouth closed. Like, it's not hard. It's not hard. I don't think. I don't know. It's not.
Thank you.
If my dad is listening to this, like, he's like,
oh no.
Because I tell him, like, Dad, stop. You're chewing so loud, Dad.
My dad chews fine, but he sometimes slurps when it's a soup or something. And I have to tell him, hello, Dad, I know you're listening. I call him out. Yeah, that bothers me too.
Don't like.
Okay, this is one, I feel like this will also be a pet peeve of yours, because I feel like this probably happens to you too. And this happened to me literally like a few days ago. When you say a joke and no one hears it, and then someone else tells the same thing you said louder, and they get the credit. What's that about, man? What is that about? They stole my joke.
And now they get that was my laugh. And then
they got the laugh. Have you had that happen?
Yes.
I'm sure. It's
very
so annoying.
Disappointing.
It's so annoying.
I feel bad when, like, I mean, this isn't, like, a pet peeve. This is just me feeling embarrassed. But when I tell a joke and no one laughs and I feel like no one heard it, so you repeat it, and then people are like, yeah, I heard you. I was like, it was funny. You laughed, dang it.
I do that too. Yeah, they'll just, like, keep going past, like, to a new part of the conversation. And you're like, but did you hear the pun I made? And they're like, I don't care.
It was so funny. Okay.
It's so funny. Like, literally, you're lucky to be friends with me, and you're skipping past my joke. Like, laugh at me, please. So great.
It's so funny. Okay. Speaking of, I'm thinking of, like, also other rare things. There are a lot of very annoying things that people can do to you with a guide dog. Like, and at risk of naming too many of them, I think the one that I like the least is when people get in her face and talk directly to her, like trying to make the eye contact, and they're like, oh, I know I can't pet you, but you're so cute, like you're such a good girl, and I'm just like, stop. That's the worst part, because, like, you know, people making direct eye contact and talking to, like, directly to my dog is going to distract her. Like, and she's going to naturally then kind of wag her tail, and then they take that as positive, and so they'll keep doing it, and it's so distracting for her. Like, she's not your dog. Like, stop I now have to
Ugh.
refocus her attention a lot more because now she's paying attention to you when she shouldn't be. And, like, people think that they're, like, finding this incredible loophole that it's like, I get to acknowledge the dog, but I'm not touching the dog. But it's...
Right.
It's the
like, they think
worst.
the main rule is not touching, but really it's just, like, not giving any kind of attention to it all.
Right, and, like, I have a patch. I have a little, like, vest with patches attached to her harness. It's not part of the harness, but I got it because I saw another guide dog user that had it, and it's actually really helpful. I have this patch that says no touch, talk, eye contact, and I've had multiple people ask me, just, like, strangers on the street, be like, wait, but why no eye contact? And I have to tell them, like, you don't think if someone were staring at you and then you look back, you would forget what you were doing previously.
Right.
Like,
right.
It's just what happens.
Yeah, that's still going to draw her attention. Whereas if someone is just looking straight ahead, not paying attention to her, like, that's the way to do it. Yeah. That is, I'm sure there could be a whole episode of pet peeves about service dog stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But, like, that one I think is the one that really, like, puts me on edge the most.
Yeah. Actually, my next one kind of has to do with, it's in the same vein. People, okay, I have to, like, give a little specification after I say it. People who bring their dog everywhere.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, though.
If you are, like, a responsible dog owner and you like to bring your dog a lot of places, but you like, are outside, you know, like an outdoor, like places where dogs are allowed, like an outdoor patio or whatever, that's totally fine. I'm talking about people who are bringing their pet dogs into places that typically would not allow pet dogs, especially if you're passing them off as a service dog. But even if you're not pretending like they're a service dog, even if you're just bringing your dog everywhere, like in a stroller and stuff, just because I'm like, I love my dog. Like, my dog, like, really, I love him as a mother loves a child. Like, I love him more than most people. Like, I love him so deeply, but, like, he is a dog. Like,
right.
and he will be okay being home for a few hours a day. And I think people really put human emotions on their dogs, and they think, like, oh, they're not going to be okay alone. Like, I have to bring them everywhere. And it's like, they're not human. It's not a human baby. It is a dog. They will be okay alone for a little bit. I mean, don't leave them days at a time or anything crazy, but, like, you don't have to, like, bring them in the grocery store, because that is just also making times harder for service dogs too, on top of that. And it just, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I think, thinking of other dog owners, I think the thing that bothers me the most is when people aren't, like, don't leash their dogs, and they think that their dog is obedient enough to come to them without a leash, but, like, the moment that there's another dog around, no, then they're not. And then, like, the owner's just, like, kind of pathetically trying to call after their dog, like, oh, come here, and their dog's, like, they should, like, be running to intercept their dog.
Right.
Like, you don't know what they're gonna do.
Right.
It's a dog.
Right. Exactly. There are so many dog pet peeves in general, like, dog owner pet peeves. People who, like, act like having a dog is just as hard as having a kid, and, like, trying to relate to people with kids bothers me. Because
people
I
who
try
do that thing on oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just gonna say, I try to be mindful of moms, like, moms of humans, and to not, it's kind of similar to the I'm blind too thing. I don't want to be like, oh, I understand your struggle. No, I don't. Puppy years were rough. It was horrible. Puppy years were really hard, I will say. But I can leave my dog at home and leave. The kid, you can't leave your kid at home. You don't have a break. Like, you can get a babassitter, but for my dog, I can leave him alone at home. Like, so anyway, sorry. Say what you were going to say.
No, I was interrupting you. That's my bad.
Oh, you're good.
No, the thing, when people do that thing on social media where they speak, like, as if they are their dogs.
I've done it. See, we knew we would be doing some of these pet peeves, because I've totally done that. No, it is dumb. It is dumb. Yeah, no, and I, like I said, love my dog literally more than anything, but, you know, we still got to be reasonable here, people. Who was next? I think you were next. Because I said the people that bring their dog everywhere.
Oh, okay.
So that's you.
All right. Okay, so the one-upping thing.
Oh, yeah.
Can't stand. It's like you can't let anyone enjoy a moment to themselves. Like, once someone has something decent, then they must come in and be like, oh, well, I'm doing whatever. Like, I have to be the winner. And it goes the other way, too, that it's not just, one-upping for good stuff, but
yeah.
The opposite of that is like the oppression Olympics. It's like, well, my life is so hard because whatever, my life is even harder. Like,
yeah. When I will say, when I was young, and I would like pretty young, I would sometimes do that with the health stuff. Like I would be like, well, I have that too. And it wasn't really me trying to like be worse off or whatever, but I would try to like insert a story about, I'd be like, oh, I went through a similar thing. And this was many years ago, and I've tried to really like not do that, because I want to let people have their moment of like, if they are complaining, I don't want to be like, well, I did, I don't think I've ever done it one-upping in the success way, because I can't stand a bragger. Like I would never be like, oh, well, I did this. But when luckily I don't do that anymore. I mean, you can call me out if I do.
No, you definitely don't. I had a roommate once who did, and like she also had a lot of like chronic illness stuff going on, but sometimes we would be talking and it felt like it was becoming that, and I was just like, okay, I mean, like, do you want to win the worst life thing? Like, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I know, and then it feels like this weird thing, this competition, and it's like, I really try to be aware of that now and to not do that, but because it can be so annoying, because I don't like it when they hijack, like if you're complaining about something and then they hijack the conversation to like complain about something that they're going through, and it's
about
like,
you.
Now it's about them, and then now you have to comfort them, like what, and it's like, oh, I was trying to look to you for comfort, and now I'm comforting you from this other thing. Yeah.
Well, and like, I think it's what you were saying about kind of trying to tell a similar story. Honestly, I think like letting someone be frustrated is part of empathy, and it's hard. Like, that's something that I've continued to try and learn throughout adulthood. Is like, let people be annoyed, and you don't always have to compare your story. Like, it's really hard to do well too, because you don't want to just be like, oh, that sucks.
Right.
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 Wow, must be terrible. Like, there are a lot of really tasteful ways to do it, but there are many, many more ways to do it wrong.
Yeah.
And I feel like those will end up standing out. So, I don't know, but it. Yeah. Anyway,
that's a very good one. I feel like that actually led to like a good discussion too. Okay, this next one, you're going to think this is directed toward you. It's not. Okay, listen. Cassandra thinks that she does this, but I really don't feel that you do this as much as like I don't feel that you really do this at all, pretty much. But like a lot of people really do this. No, you're gonna know. Like when I say it, you're gonna be like, yeah, but you don't. I don't think. You've never annoyed me in this way, is what I'm trying to say. Truly. Or I wouldn't put it on the list if you did. Okay. Hating things because of the hype.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I do that though.
Not really though. I feel like you're open-minded. You're more open-minded than some people. But
I've learned. I'm trying.
Things that like I remember like when Frozen came out, like I really loved it.
That's a great example.
And then it became really overhyped, and I will say it was a little bit over the top. But people like, it's like cool to hate it, It's like, oh, Frozen, it's horrible, And it's like, no, actually, if you strip it all down and let it go, and the soundtrack doesn't annoy you, if you actually watch it, like, I think it's a good, pretty fun film.
It's great.
And so anyway, like, it's just like things like that. And look, you gave Taylor Swift a chance.
I was gonna say, look, like I'm learning. Like I try, because I feel like I joke about myself, and I don't even feel like it was maybe that as extreme as I like I think of it in my head, but when I was a teenager, I felt like out of principle I like disliked a lot of popular music, and I also had like pretty defined taste. And so, you know, I joke that I was like a pretentious hipster in high school because I was listening to the Shins and that made me so superior. But like, but you know, listen, like, it's okay to dislike things, but you have to, you know, give it a try, think for yourself. Why do I not like this? And you know what? I do like some of Taylor Swift's work. Some of it maybe isn't for me, but
I was a similar way in high school. I feel like that's kind of a high school rite of passage to be like, well, so. you guys are followers. You guys are sheep. You're posers. I know. You know, I was like listening to like classical, you know, listening to like Kristen Chenoweth. And I was like, oh, I'm so above this.
I'm so cool.
I'm so above this radio music. And it's funny though, because like Taylor Swift, like, and you don't have to like Taylor Swift. And by you, I mean the general you know, you listening don't have to like Taylor Swift. But the thing is, a lot of times when things are really popular, there is a reason. Like clearly the thing resonates with a lot of people for a reason. And
absolutely.
And I like that I like when people say like, I don't like Taylor Swift, but I can admit that she's a good lyricist. Or I guess my main thing with even using Taylor as an example, my main thing is like saying you don't like her when you only know like a few of her radio hits and you haven't actually, if you dive into her work and you still don't like her, then that's another story. But
it
like
is
actually
a very diverse body of work. And honestly, as someone who's a skeptic, like, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to hijack that, but also like, I would definitely challenge someone who thinks that way, as someone who previously felt that way. There is something for everyone in her catalog, just because there's so much of it, and it spans a really wide variety of genre. So, I don't know. Taylor specific, you should give her a shot, but truly, you will never know you don't like something until you try it and decide that you don't like it. Because people will hate stuff without even knowing what it is, because it's cool to hate it, like you were saying.
Right, and this is a big thing in the book community too. Like, and I even get like this about books. I get snooty about it. I'm like, oh, you're reading Colleen Hoover? Like, okay, you know. And then I'm like, oh, I gotta like, like, I've gotta like step back and be like, okay, like, there's something for everyone. So,
right,
you know, yeah.
Okay, so something that drives me nuts, and I think it was born out of the, you know, mid 2010s Tumblr girl movement, but it's kind of along the lines of what we were just talking about, of like disliking something to dislike it, but it's like, I'm not like other girls. I like to wear big sweaters and watch Netflix, and that makes me much cooler than people who like to go out. Like, what is that?
Yeah, actually, speaking of Taylor Swift, she has a quote-unquote "I'm not like other girls" song where it's like, she wears short skirts, but I'm in sneakers, t-shirts, and she's the cheer captain, I'm in the bleed, and it's like, okay, it's like putting down other women, and mostly women for being feminine a lot of times. It's like, oh, she's like, she cares about her makeup, but I care about a book, and it's like, yeah.
And I was really thinking about that because of makeup, because like some women who don't wear makeup, which is totally their choice, are like, well, I don't need makeup to feel pretty. And I'm like,
yeah, they do.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's like a high horse about not wearing makeup.
Good for you.
Or like making fun of women for how long they take to get ready. It's like, oh, well, she takes an hour to get ready in the morning. Like,
I just roll out of bed. Congrats.
And like, that's fine too. Like, we're not dissing that. I think no makeup is beautiful. I think that's fine. But like, why are you mad if we wear makeup?
Yeah, why are you mad? Like,
why are you mad?
You can like something without putting down other people's interests. It's not like inherently a binary. I like this, therefore that other thing is bad.
Right. Exactly. That's true. Okay, I have 3 more. 2 of them are going to be long, so I'll do a shorter one. When people, this is so specific, but it happens a lot.
I love the way your voice is going.
When people are about to tell you something like juicy, and they go, oh, never mind, I can't tell you that. I can't stand that. I can't stand that. Because I'm like, well, well, now you have to tell me. Like,
right.
Because clearly, if they did that, they clearly want to tell, or like they want to make you
they're just building
want
up the
to
drama.
know. Yeah, they're like, oh, and did you hear? Oh, never mind. I can't tell you. I'm like,
say.
if it really was a secret, you're a terrible secret keeper because you shouldn't have even started the conversation. It drives me nuts.
It's so ridiculous.
Can't stand it.
That makes me think of when people preface things with "no offense."
No offense.
That does not give you immunity. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. No.
I don't know how people
bad.
don't understand how people how they think that saying that will, you know, eliminate the sting from the offensive thing that they're about to say.
Right. I feel like in our conversations, you've said things before to me that, like, there's a better way to say it. Like, you've said to me in a respectful way of, like, I hope that comes off the right way. Or, like, I hope, you know what I mean? Like, if you really are hoping not to offend someone, like, there is a better way to do it instead of, like, you're kind of ugly, no offense.
Like, thanks.
Like, oh.
Yeah. Like, well, I think sometimes I'm worried because I like to think that I'm a straightforward person, but I don't want to run around offending people. Like, that's definitely not my intention. And so, something that I think I've learned to do, because sometimes when I have said something truly not intending to hurt someone, but they have been hurt anyway, I try to preface things that I feel like could come out really strong. Like, okay, I want this to come out the right way. Like, I really don't want it to seem like I'm trying to wound someone or like
and anytime you've said that
opinion.
Yeah, anytime you've said that to me, you've never actually offended me before whatever was coming out of your mouth. So,
and I think, like, if people feel the need to say that, like, I don't know, just take a little extra time to measure your words really carefully. Like, if you think that what you're saying is controversial, really, really try, because I don't know, then people will just think that you rude.
Yeah, absolutely. My next one is the one I was going to take off the list because it's extremely controversial. But I guess I'll talk about it. So sorry. Please don't hate me if I offend anyone.
Please.
I think dog adoption is great.
Oh, I know you. Yes, I've heard this opinion.
Sometimes people take the adopt don't shop movement real far. And they want to poo on my parade for using an ethical breeder. I talked about this on the pod, but it was years ago. The short of it is, adopting is great. It literally is. If you can adopt a dog, that should be your first, like, means of getting a dog. But if you have certain lifestyle needs or a certain breed that you know really works well with your lifestyle, I would say it's more responsible to probably get that breed than to adopt a dog that doesn't fit in your lifestyle, that you're not prepared for, that you end up having to give away. Like, for instance, I have bad allergies. I need a hypoallergenic dog. I also live in a condo without a backyard, so I need a dog. See, your dog, you live in a condo too, but your dog actually gets exercise because she's, like, out working, whereas my dog doesn't need, I don't have a dog that needs a yard. So, like, he fits with my lifestyle, and so I decided to, go through a breeder to get my dog, because I grew up with this specific breed. And I think, different breeds are bred for different reasons. Like, a Labrador Retriever does a lot of great stuff. And if breeders were to no longer exist, then Labradors would no longer exist. And there are different dogs for, like, working, hunting, whatever. And so, that's where I'll leave it. But, like, I do think you should, like, try to do it ethically. I do think you should try to adopt if possible. And I looked at Bichon Frise adoption sites. I did when I was looking for my dog. So I'm not against adoption. I'm really not. And I might adopt a dog one day, like, in the future. But people that, like hate on me for the fact that I went through a breeder need to chill. You need to chill. Calm down.
To that point, like, people that also get very high and mighty about, like, well, she's a rescue. Like,
It's the same people.
Okay.
It's the same ones.
Good job. Now you can feel like you did a very important, good civic thing, and you have the moral high ground now. Congrats.
Yes.
That's
how it feels. That's how it feels. And I'm like, I am glad that you adopted a dog. That is great. But like, why are you making everyone else feel bad?
Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I think this is my last one. Wait, you started. So I don't.
Yeah, so you can do 2 more if you want.
Oh, I have no idea. But anyway, oh boy, the fishing for compliments. The self-deprecation, but in the fishing for compliments sphere, I just like, I think that was okay, but maybe not my best. Oh no, you did so great.
Oh no. Yes.
And listen, I feel like I do this in one very specific area of my life, and it is cooking. Because
everybody does with cooking, though. Everybody does.
Yeah. And like, I'll make something for someone, and people will say, like, oh, this is so good. And I feel like I know what I'm capable of, so I'm like, yeah, it's good. It's, maybe not my favorite thing I've ever made, but it was fine. But it's, like, especially with performance, I think...
Mm-hmm.
Like singing or just anything in that vein, or like appearance.
Yeah.
Like, oh well.
Yes.
I feel like this shirt makes me look fat. No, you look so skinny.
No, you look great. No, okay, to the cooking thing though. I feel like even when you are being self-deprecating about your own cooking, you're not doing it because you're fishing for compliments though.
Like, I feel like I'm just being genuine about my performance.
Just like you just know what you're capable of, and you have a standard for yourself. Like it's like you know the difference when people like want a compliment. They're like, "Well, I didn't think it was that good," and then you have to be like, "Yeah," and
and I think the thing about it that's bothersome is that like it puts you as the person who's there in a position of like feeling forced to contradict what they're saying. And I think that's not fair, because that's disingenuous. You may not even really feel that way, but for the sake of the uncomfortable moment, you may just say something.
Right. Right.
And I'm not a big person on compliments, which makes me sound like I don't like them at all. But when we did our episode about like personality stuff, like I'm very, I don't know, the more people compliment me, the more I get skeptical, because it feels like flattery, and I feel like they're trying to get something. And I appreciate like a really well-timed compliment, but I feel like when I give out a compliment, it's not that I withhold either. I don't know. I'm trying to make it sound as balanced as I possibly can, but I'm not always constantly praising people. Mm-hmm. And it just, I don't know, when I'm in a position where I have to compliment someone, it feels forced and not real.
You do give compliments, though, and I feel like compliments mean more when they come from someone who doesn't always just flatter you with compliments all the time. So Yeah. No, that's true. Okay. I'm about to go on a monologue because
Please.
Under this pet peeve, I have 5 reasons to back up. I've thought of this at like 7 a.m, lying in bed. I grab my phone. Like, this woke me from my slumber. And you know how much this bugs me because I talk about it on a daily basis. And after I go on my long monologue, I'm sorry to take over this moment, but after I go, you also should talk about how you feel, because I don't think you hate it as much as me. In fact, I think you've possibly like defended it a little before, but here's my soapbox. Thank you. Okay. When people give the advice to single people, you'll find him when you stop looking. Okay, I have 5 separate reasons why this is horrible. And if you have said this to someone, I don't hate you. I promise this is all in good fun. Okay. Number 1, it's bad advice. It's not advice you can really do anything with, because half of the people in the world tell you that you'll find them when you stop looking. And then the other half of people tell you, you got to put yourself out there, though. You got to get on the apps, though. Which one is it, Sharon? Okay. The next thing is you are implying, whether you want to imply it or not, that the person you are telling this advice to is desperate. You are saying, you are desperate. Yeah. You need to stop looking and stop being desperate. So that's rude. Okay, number 3, statistically, this does happen to some people. Some people don't expect to meet someone at all and they show up in their life. But also statistically, a lot of people do look and they do get on the apps and they find someone too. So is there really a stat to back this up scientifically? Show me the stats. Number four, you're telling the person that it's bad to want it. You're telling someone it's bad to want a relationship. You have to not want it. You must turn it off. And then the fifth one is if you do stop looking, like if you take the advice, the terrible advice, if you take the advice and you do stop looking and then your soulmate still doesn't show up, how do you think that's going to make you feel? Not good. So that's the worst advice, but maybe just stop giving single people advice, period. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear advice about being single. And I'll say one more thing. I always say that being disabled is not the hard part. It's how society deals with you and treats you. Same with singleness. I am fine. My life is good. I am fine. But the way society is trying to fix me and trying to give me advice and trying to make me feel like I'm a second-class citizen bothers me. And that I'm so sorry that I just took 10 minutes on that. But I can't stand it.
So, okay, so I'm completely in agreement. And I think so when you said I've defended it before, I think maybe not really. No.
Like,
I'm thinking like trying to, as someone who, I don't know, hasn't heard it as much just because I've had fewer years alive. I don't know. I think maybe the heart of it is like I think the real benefit of being single is getting to really love yourself in, a non-narcissistic way, but really enjoy and value time with yourself. Get to know yourself. Get to indulge in your own hobbies because really you're the only one you need to be looking out for. Really be like a good friend to people because you have the time. There are a lot of really great things about being single. And I think, I don't know, it really comes and goes, feelings about being frustrated that you're single. But I think ultimately it's a choice to be single. Like, if we wanted to settle for someone, we easily could. Like,
100%.
We easily could find someone so that we're just not alone.
We have found people.
And we've dated people before, but we're single
that want
now,
to
so
continue with us.
Hasn't worked out.
Yeah, we are single by choice.
But I think maybe they mean just really take advantage of this time by yourself and get to enjoy yourself. But it comes off really preachy and really condescending. And I think the thing that bothers me is that I think I hear a lot of people who say this and they don't actually mean it, or they don't actually know what it was like. It's like, you know what, when I finally started to love being single is when he showed up. And it's you I feel like a lot of times I hear that from people who are serial daters, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not me, and that's not the case. Obviously, we're not in a relationship now.
Yeah.
And so I think, I don't know, people who say that often really don't know what it's like to be single for an extended period of time.
Yes.
I think they don't actually know what it's like. Yeah, and they mean well, and they want to be supportive.
They do. If you say this to me, or if you have said this to me, I know you think it's a nice thing to say, it's a nice thought, you're trying, it's well intentioned. I totally get that. I just think And I do think there is something to, like, when you are super confident in who you are, that is when you will attract the right people.
It's
like,
true.
that is, it's not, like, completely false. I just don't like that it's being given to me as advice. Like, you need to stop looking. Like,
and I think,
stop.
It's like, I think that lends to the last one that I have is, like, just co-opting trite, meaningless phrases because that's what everybody says.
Ooh.
Even though, like, they don't mean anything, and you're just saying them because you don't know what else to say. Like,
yeah.
and there are so many of those around, like, death. Like, well, heaven needed another angel. Really? Really? No. Don't. Just, just stick with, I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
That's fine. But,
I'm here for you.
It's like the, like, I don't know. Yeah. You'll find them when you stop looking. Like.
You know which one makes me laugh? Which, like, I'm happy for them when this happens, but, like, they died doing what they loved. It's like, I don't know. That one just
what they were doing when they died?
It just makes me laugh. I'm like, oh, like, I'm sure they still didn't want to die though. Like it's like trying to make the person that lost the person feel better. It's like, I mean, yeah, I guess, but they died. Like,
and I think that I feel like parents of disabled kids get one a lot. That's like, well, I mean, a lot of them end up being in religion too, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's like the strongest people get the toughest battles. That's not true. That's not true. Plenty of not people without as much emotional, like, fortitude get difficult lives too. It's just a little harder for them.
That's true. Yeah, there are a lot of those that are, like, wrong when you think about it.
They're misleading. They're not, and you don't even know what you're saying. It's just like, if the next time you want to say a dumb cliche.
We've got to look up a list of those one day and see, like, which ones actually have merit and which ones are just, like, not. Like, when you sit and think about them, you're like, yeah, that's not right, is it? Like, that's not good.
I think the one of the ones that I like that's okay to me is, like, this will also pass, like, this too shall pass, because that is true. Whether you like it or not, it'll end. Maybe it'll be worse, but maybe it'll be better. But it will end.
Yeah, everything will end. That is true. Yeah, no, I like that too. Too. But that goes for good things too, unfortunately. Yeah, good things will also end. No, that's a sad note to end this on.
I know, right?
The good things in your life, they won't last forever.
And we'll die.
And we'll all die. Well, no.
We'll see you. No, I'm kidding.
This was unhinged, but I think we really got somewhere with this. I am so sorry if we offended anyone. Because here's the thing.
True.
We said 20 things. Like, no offense. We said 20 things, so some of our listeners are bound to do some of these 20 things. And if you've ever done it to us, this is not a personal attack. We still love you.
Right. Of course. And it's, again, I think we're adults. Like, we're not gonna jump down your throat if this happens. And people are people. I've definitely...
Unless you tell me you'll find them when you stop looking. I will probably slap you across the face. But besides that, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. People are well-intentioned with most of these things.
I know. It's hard. And I think truly what a lot of these come down to, especially the ones where you're, like, trying to relate to people in a weird or uncomfortable way, just, like, practice empathy. I don't know, get in touch with our good friend Brene Brown. Learn about how to best relate to people in a way that is not cringy or makes them feel worse.
Right. Absolutely.
And it's hard. It's really hard to do.
Yeah. No. Agreed, girl. It's always a good time. That was fun. I learned some things, and I got some stuff off my chest that I clearly have been wanting to say. You know,
I love the generic use of Sharon.
Sharon.
Sorry
I'm sorry
to
if your
anyone
name is
named Sharon.
Sorry to anyone. It's a beautiful name. It just came out.
It was the one that fit in this scenario. Okay?
It just happened. Just came out and it fit. It fit. Yeah.
Did we have a game? Were we going to do that?
I think that was a game.
That was a
in
game.
itself.
Well.
Well.
We will see you in 2 weeks.
We will see you in 2 weeks.
Super.
Bye.
Bye.